What's going on, guys? I'm back with another animated review. Yeah, it feels like I just did one. It feels like I just did an anime review, but this is DC animated, and I couldn't pass that up. I can never pass up a DC animated movie most of the time. So I just watched a movie called Batman: Soul of the Dragon, starring, of course, Batman, Lady Shiva, Bronze Tiger, and Richard Dragon. First of all, don't worry. I know I'm doing another animated review. It seems repetitive, like I just explained, but it's DC animated and their track record is almost flawless. Okay, they almost never disappoint. Almost. So I got more movie, short film, documentary, suggestion box reviews all on the way. Sooner than you think. Sooner than you think. Don't worry, don't fret. Also, I really wanted to do a WandaVision review as well. Right now, it's all the talk. It's all the buzz. I'm hearing good things about this. Disney Plus is finally stepping up. Finally, because not only do they have this, they got Falcon and Winter Soldier coming on the way. So they're coming around besides Mandalorian. All right. The only problem is I don't have Disney Plus, and I don't feel like adding another program to my bill. All right. So when I find a way to get around all this, I will definitely bring you that WandaVision review. It has a lot of things in it that I like. It's different. If you're not a comic book head, they are not going to get it. Like, people already are confused because they don't read the comics or they just don't know enough about the characters. All right. But if you do, like me, you already know what's going on. Now, let's get back to that review. Batman: Soul of the Dragon. For those who don't know, for those who are not aware, unless you're a fanatic of DC animated movies like myself, Batman: Soul of the Dragon is pretty much a movie based in the 70s, which is the early points of Batman's career when he was still a little wet behind the ears, just a little bit. And he finds out his old sensei is mysteriously missing. All right, so he has to round up his old friends from the old dojo that he used to spar with just to find his sensei. Along the way, they bump into an organization known as the Cobra. And no, I'm not talking about Cobra Kai, and I'm not talking about G.I. Joe. I'm talking about a Cobra from the DC world. All right? And that's pretty much the premise of the movie. Now, positives. Let's keep it 100% completely honest here. I like that this movie proved me wrong. What I mean by that, by it proving me wrong, is that when I first saw the trailer, I immediately thought, oh, this movie is going to just be a carbon copy of Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon. It's pretty much going to be an animated version with Batman thrown in. But when I started watching it, yeah, it had the 70s vibe, and it had the whole kung fu environment thrown around in there. But it really morphs into its own thing. All right, it really does. It's really a change of thought when you actually start watching it. All right, it really is like it wowed me. Like, oh, okay, all right, you're doing that. You're doing that. It made me say, all right. Of course, you have the action. which is great, which is fantastic. And you had the fighting scenes, which stuck true to the kung fu, the art of kung fu. See how Batman's doing it? He had kung fu for this one, and he had the ninjutsu for Bat Ninja. All right, so I love how he's switching it up. I love how he switches it up. All right. A huge thing that I loved about this movie, though, was the array of characters. The lineup of characters in this movie was so crazy. You had so many people that you could just fall for, man. First, there was Lady Shiva, which, when she didn't say a lot, but she is one of the coldest females in this movie. One of the coldest. She once fought one of the other students with one finger. After he called her out, or somebody called her out, I forgot who called her out. Be about on the screen. Well, she was called out, her worthiness was tested. And the sensei said, hey, go ahead and fight that person with one finger. And she beat the bejesus out of this dude with one damn finger. So she's deadly with those hands. Very mean as well. Very mean as hell. Also, I like the sensei. The sensei. Usually you get a sensei in one of these karate or kung fu movies. They are pretty much, a static character. They're pretty much cliche. They have a life lesson for you, and they tend to be the toughest one there, but they don't look like it. This sensei had a sense of humor. This sensei made me laugh. Okay, I ain't gonna lie. He had the jokes. He had the best jokes in this movie. Everybody else was corny or just throwing out 70s one-liners. The sensei was throwing stand-up out here. So I love this character too. One of my favorite appearances in this movie has to be Bronze Tiger. And the reason I say that is because the voice actor behind him, Michael Jai White, which you also may know as Black Dynamite. Every time I heard Bronze Tiger's voice, I thought of Black Dynamite, and I had to laugh to myself. And he also had the same attitude as Black Dynamite. So he didn't disappoint. He didn't drop any of that. He kept all of that persona. All right. I loved it. And I hardly ever mention a voice actor in these animated reviews, but I had to do that. I had to. Michael Jai White is a legend in this action game. Please know that. Please know that. Now, let's get to those negatives. And there's not a lot. But I have to say this. Batman's identity revealed. This part annoyed me. Because the way he revealed his identity to Richard Dragon was too easy. And people will say, oh, these are other fellow fighters. They're not going to reveal your identity. You don't know that. I just read an article saying that. You don't know. You're not for sure. You don't know that. There can be one ally or friend within the crime fighting community that will snitch on you. That can easily snitch on you. Stop doing this. It was too easy for him. It was just like putting on a face of paint for him. Or putting a hat on for Batman in this series. He really didn't even have to wear the uniform for this. But I understand if he didn't, then it wouldn't be a true Batman movie. And I think that's the only reason. But besides that, there was no point for that costume. And he just revealed his identity to the whole crew. The whole crew knew who he was. And I'm sure some people they were fighting too. Okay? This problem also is a big thing for a lot of other superheroes like Spider-Man, Iron Man, pretty much anybody with man at the end of their name. they all have revealed their identity so many times. I wish that comics would stop doing that. it makes it irrelevant or useless to even have a secret identity. Just let everybody know who you are. All right. Now, my last negative that I have to throw in here, and a character I didn't mention for favorite characters, Richard Dragon. Yeah, it may seem like a good character on the outside, but really, Richard Dragon is the main reason, one of the main reasons I thought this was going to be a remake, an animated remake of Enter the Dragon. He looks just like Bruce Lee. That's Bruce Lee. Here we go with this Bruce Lee. It's Bruce Lee fakes again. People over the years have been trying to remake or reconstruct their own Bruce Lee. Movies, cartoons, TV shows. It's ridiculous. They don't even try to be original with this. I really think it would have saved the movie if this would have been Kato, who, hangs with the green, not Green Lantern. It's Green somebody. The other guy in DC they used to chill with Batman. That guy. Yeah, if it was his sidekick Kato, that would have made a lot more sense. But it's not even Kato. It's somebody completely different. Who, by the way, was played by Bruce Lee in the actual show in the 60s. Which is a pretty cool fact. But it's not Kato. It's some character that I feel like they made up out of thin air just for this movie. All right, so that bothered me a little bit. You have to be somewhat original. Okay, but with that said, I have to give this a hell yeah. This I loved every minute, regardless of all that. I loved every minute of this movie. I knew it from the time I turned the movie on that I was going to enjoy this. All right, it felt. DC never barely disappoints. Here's another notch on their belt right here. The action scenes, the premise of the storyline, it was just out of this world. There were so many things in there that were like deep meanings to it, with deep meanings to it. Okay? And it could have been its movie in itself and just throwing Batman in there. All right? That's what it felt like. But Batman still did his thing. This movie was still so good. If you love animated movies, especially DC animated movies, please watch this. Please download it and watch this movie. I guarantee you're going to love it. All right? Get ready for Batman to reveal his identity 1,000 times. But it's okay. All right? I want you to press that like button, subscribe, share this, and I'll be right back.